Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shaelene and today we are doing my October TBR. Before we get started, I would like to inform you all that I finally got a library card and this TBR might end up changing because of that library card. Hopefully soon I will be putting in my first request for the library. Because I am disabled, they're actually going to do the Books by Mail program for me. You guys know, like, I don't get out much because of my disability. I live in a very rural community, so yeah. I know all the books on this here TBR today. I'm not going to get these all read in October. There are a lot of books. We're just gonna jump right into the video. Let's get started. First want to talk about the books that I'm currently reading. So the first one that I am currently reading is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn or Gillian Flynn. I can never remember how to pronounce her first name. But yeah, I am like, let's see, 65 pages in. I haven't had a chance to sit down and read this all too often. Yeah, it's a big book. I am just getting into it. I really don't have any opinions on it yet. I mean, it's okay so far. The other book that I'm currently reading is an ebook, and that is Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This has been on my TBR for months now, and I'm finally getting to it. I know you all are probably just shocked. I am actually really enjoying this one. 28% into this one. And I'm flying through it, like, pretty fast. It's good so far. I'm really enjoying it. So we're just gonna go ahead and get on into actual TBR now. Physical books first, like always. So I did not read The Girl on the Train last month, so I still have to read this, or I still want to read this. So yeah, this one's relatively short compared to Gone Girl, thank God. So it shouldn't take me too long to read, but yeah. Just haven't gotten to it yet. So the next book that I want to read, which I'm really excited to read because I'm going to be, you know, October is like a spooky kind of month. I love reading thrillers around this time of the year, so I'm reading a lot of thrillers, and I'm also gonna read some stuff for October that's kind of spooky, but I wanted something that's cozy and cute and just fluffy, and what's more cozy and cuter and fluffier than cats. So this is The Traveling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikawa. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right, but basically a human finds this poor little stray kitty who is injured. He takes him in. The human and the kitty cat become best friends, and then they go on little adventures together around Japan. And my sister read this. I think this is just going to be the cutest book. I thought this is like the perfect book for fall. I am excited to read it. It's very, very short and small, but I'm so excited. The Handmaid's Tale. I will be rereading it this month. I read it last year. I didn't like the writing style of this, and I read it kind of sporadically, so maybe that kind of like altered my opinion of it, but basically I don't remember much of this book. I have to read this book and then read the Testaments. And then of course I will be reading the Testaments, which is the sequel to The Handmaid's Tale. Honestly, I don't know much about this going into it. It's been super hyped. So yeah, I haven't really even read the synopsis, although the inside of the book is beautiful. Look at that. So pretty. So yeah, very interesting cover. You got this on the front and this on the back. So I wonder what that's about. I'm so curious how different this world is going to be from the first book, because it's supposed to take place a few years, you know, like into the future kind of thing, or after, or whatever. My brain. Next book I want to read is a non-fiction book. This is I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara, one woman's obsessive search for the Golden State Killer. I plan to read this in April, but didn't read it because I read a very heavy kind of thriller, I think, around then, and I just wasn't in the mood to read something heavy. But now I'm in the mood, so Hopefully I'll get to it this month. This is like a very popular nonfiction book in the past year. Basically, it's about the author's search to find the true identity of the Golden State Killer. He was also a serial rapist that terrorized northern and southern California during like the 80s. And through DNA evidence, we actually know who the guy is now. So I guess through reading this, we'll see if the author's hunch was correct or not, which I'm super interested to see what her theories were. And the next book I'll be reading is a classic, which I have been wanting to read for a while now. I had never heard of this classic before joining BookTube, and then I heard about it and I'm like, I immediately need to read that. So I actually found this at Valley Village. I'm really excited. This is Rebecca by Daphne Maurier. Basically, our main character is a poor lady's maid. She gets swept off her feet by a really rich guy. They get married, then she goes to live with him in his big mansion. But the presence of his late wife kind of casts a lingering evil and threatens to destroy their marriage. So I'm really intrigued about this. It's a gothic kind of book. Thriller, mystery. I don't even know if it's a thriller or a mystery. I think it's kind of both, like a psychological thriller. And then the next book, which I'm super excited to pick this one up and read this. I've been wanting to read this for a very long time. I found a copy at Valley Village. So this is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Does this really need explanation? I mean, so many people on BookTube have read this. Her other book, The Goldfinch, is getting turned into a movie. I hope to read that in November. So basically, a classics professor and a group of misfit classics students discover a different way of thinking, and they kind of go beyond the boundaries of what is considered morality. And there's murder, so yeah. A lot of people say that this is just filled with a bunch of, you know, highfalutin, pompous, kind of ignorant classics professors and classics students, but I'm excited for this because I feel like this is something that I might really love. So that's my huge physical stack, and as you can imagine, I go overboard with TBRs, so there's more ebooks. The first one, which is one that I've been trying to read, that I really want to read for this month because it'll be perfect for October. The Final Girls by Riley Sager. This has been on my last 3 or 4 TBRs, I think. So yeah, well, hopefully this will be the month to read this. If I get no arcs to read, then it'll be perfect. I'll try to go really crazy with reading this month and try to actually read every day instead of just binge watching Netflix. And then the next book, A Picnic at Hanging Rock by Joan Lindsey. This came on sale on iBooks, and I'm like, yes, I've been wanting to read this forever. A group of students from Appleyard College go to the Hanging Rock. It's this here famous rock out in the Australian outback. They go on a picnic. The 4 of them walk off to explore in the woods or whatever and get lost. And they can't find the girls, and yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of confused if this is actually a mystery or a bit of a ghost story. Like, it's, you know, kind of murky there. Another book that was on my TBR last month is The Luminous Dead by Caitlin Starling. So basically, Gaier Price is on this here planet. She gets hired for this job, which she basically has to go into this cave to do this here, like, mining thing or something like that. There's a big fat paycheck in it for her, so that's why she's doing it. But little does she know, there's kind of nefarious intentions behind this. The team that is kind of getting her to do this, they got some ulterior motives here. So yeah, things get pretty intense. It's a sci-fi novel. I'm really in the mood for sci-fi these past few months, so yeah, I'm excited to get to this one. Honestly, when am I going to get to it? I don't know. The Deep, Freediving, Renegade Science, and What the Ocean Tells Us About Ourselves by James Nestor. This is another book that has been on my TBR for the past few months. It has not been a good reading summer. Since I didn't read anything in August, like, my TBRs have just been thrown off course. So yeah, basically, It's a non-fiction book about freediving, science, and the ocean, and it's kind of like a sports book mixed with a science book, mixed with a human biology and oceanography. I'm into most of those things. I'm really excited to read this. It should be a pretty quick read. So yeah, I really need to get to this one. And then these next few books are more of like, if I want to read like a spooky October book, I'm likely to not get to these, honestly. Except for the shorter one. So I want to read Perfect Prey by Helen Fields. I read her previous book, Perfect Remains. You know, it was good. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the writing, and that it was definitely a darker kind of book, and I'm into those. So yeah, basically the killer in this book kind of graffitis his victims' names around town and details about them before he goes and kills them. So yeah, the detectives are scrambling to catch the killer. So we'll see if this is good. I have a feeling it is. I have like the whole series purchased, so I have to read it at some point. And the next book is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Would it be October if you didn't read this book? I personally haven't read this yet. I meant to read it last year in October, but I didn't. Hopefully I'll get to it this year. It's actually quite short, so it shouldn't take me too long to get to it. I mean, yeah. So, we kind of all know the story of Frankenstein, but I'll give you a refresher. A scientist obsessed with the idea of reanimation basically gets a bunch of bodies, hacks them up, reassemble the pieces from those bodies, creates Frankenstein. Frankenstein turns evil and tries to get revenge on his creator. And the next book I want to read, this is The Deep by Nick Cutter. Basically, humanity has been decimated by a plague, and some weird creepy stuff is going on, and that's really all I want to know. It sounds really good. Those are all the books that I want to read this month, which I know I'm not going to get to all of them. Honestly, this should be a seasonal TBR, but I'm a little crazy and think that I can get to all these when I know that I can't, because I literally have to read like 3 or 4 books a week, and that's just not happening. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, you can go ahead and give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe. I'll have my Instagram, my Goodreads, and my Twitter all linked in the description below, and you can go ahead and follow me there. And I guess I will hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!